you know what? I never take myself out. I never go out to eat. I never leave my house. I'm a homebody. I go to, if I'm either at work or on a plane going someplace, and there's like nothing in between. But yesterday morning, I said, you know what? I want some French toast. And I went to a bakery slash bistro in my
Mm-hmm.
town. It was bumping at 9:30.
Oh,
And I had a lovely breakfast. And then it happened to be in the kind of historic area of my town.
mm-hmm.
And I'm like, this is nice. How come I never get out? And I found myself at a farmer's market, and then they had people busking. They had this kind of clarinet. They have a woman, she calls herself the Bohemian Busker, and she was singing Sade.
Oh,
And
mm-hmm.
then there was another guy further up. So it's like a promenade.
Right.
And there were different artists kind of performing like on each block. And I bought some fresh Honeycrisp apples, and then I bought some plums and apricots, and then I bought sweet potato, like the sweet potato that Jamaicans call sweet potato.
Oh,
So I will be baking those later.
yeah.
And then I said, you know what? Cheech Marin, who is, Cheech and Chong dude,
Mm-hmm.
he's a prolific art collector. And I said, I've never been to his museum. So by the time I was ready to leave, I said, wait a second, you have a great parking spot. And it was free. And why don't you walk yourself to that museum? And I did. And
Okay.
they were having, it was free entrance, and they were having like a motorcycle club, uh, a Chicano or Mexican motorcycle club call themselves the Vatos.
Mm-hmm.
And all of these Harleys were kind of parked, like gorgeous, and people were just kind of walking around. Then they had the nerve to have live music and food trucks.
Oh my gosh.
And then I got to go into the museum for free. It
Oh,
was
wow.
it was such a lovely morning. And I'm
Right.
so glad I went. And it kind of motivated me to say, you know what? You need to get out of this house and do stuff. I'll go to Costco or the supermarket, but just do fun stuff.
Right.
And it was such a lovely morning. I texted a friend of mine. She's Mexican American. I said, you need to come down to this museum because everything's free and it's fun. And then I texted my office manager's son because he rides a Harley, and I
Right.
call I call him Chasey Poo. And I was like, "Hey Chase," he does. I don't know if he knows I called him that, but Chasey Poo.
Now he does. Now
Now
he
he does,
does.
and he watches Raina for me sometimes. And I said, Chase, and so I sent him a little video, and he's like, the Vatos. And so I don't know if he went down there or not, but it was just kind of
Right.
a really lovely day, feeling part of the community.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I'm sad to say that when I moved here 8 years ago, I bought a house, got a job, sent my kid to high school, but I really have not been partaking in the community activities.
Right.
And I'm like, it was so lovely, and it was free, and
Mm-hmm.
I just had a really nice morning.
Mm.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
sounds great. I think the lesson there is that we can all like investigate what's going on in our immediate community and get out and be a part of it.
Exactly, exactly.
'Cause sometimes you'll be surprised like you were yesterday.
Right, right, right.
So how was that French toast?
It was delicious.
Oh
It
gosh.
was delicious. And the
Mm-hmm.
thing is, I went to this place because when I was interviewing for this job, I stayed at a hotel downtown, which is absolutely gorgeous. And one morning, Yaya and this was when Yaya was touring high schools, potential high schools. We went and we ate there, and Yaya was eating, and she's like, Mommy, I'm having an allergic reaction. Anyway, I don't know what she was eating, but it had walnuts in it. That's how we
Oh,
found out Yaya was allergic to walnuts.
wow.
And
Yeah.
yeah, and it wasn't a bad reaction or anything, but I remember the orange juice just being fantastic. And it was fantastic again. And
Hmm.
I'm talking, the place was so busy. And it's not like a small little place. It's not a cafeteria, but it's a lot of activity, and it's kind of like dark, and I don't want to say saloonish, but it has the dark woods and the booths and things
Hmm.
like that.
Hmm.
But the kitchen was super duper busy. You can order online, you can pick up, but it, Judy, we next time you're down, we need to go down
Yeah.
there because it
Yeah.
was really nice.
Sounds
Really nice.
like it.
Yeah,
Sounds
yeah,
like it. Well,
yeah.
I think this is like a perfect segue into what we are going to do today, which is a reintroduction of ourselves. We've been doing Tusoka for some years now.
Hmm.
Um, and for our possible new listeners, or even for our old listeners, like, let's tell them a little bit about who we are and why we're here. Um, yeah, let's bring everybody up to speed. What do you think?
I think it's a good idea. Now, is it what's the name of that guy married to Beyonce? Sean
Jay
Carter?
Z?
Jay-Z. I can't remember.
Casey,
Yeah.
that guy.
Oh, does he sing that song? Allow me to reintroduce myself.
Oh,
Is that he?
I do
But
not know, but I
that's
know what you're
all I
talking
keep
about.
on thinking of. Allow me to reintroduce myself.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. So we'll go in with that
Yes.
and take this time to reintroduce ourselves to our
That's the
Tusoka
extent of my
family.
rapping.
Okay, thank you.
Hmm.
Okay. All right. So I have some questions for you.
Okay.
Nothing hard. I could answer these, but for
Hmm.
our audience, let's go through them. So, Candy, who are you?
Who am I not, really?
Ah.
I am a mother. And I am a pediatrician, and I'm a child abuse pediatrician, and I fancy myself a creative person. I'm a lover of the arts, a lover of theater, a lover of music and Broadway shows, a lover of travel, a lover of my family. I'm a frustrated actress, and whenever I complain to my kids that they're like over the top, they're like, "Who do you think we got it from?"
Yes.
Um,
My sister can be dramatic
yes, yeah. Oh,
and very comedic.
yes, and you know, I feel like I'm a conservationist in the sense that I do like to minimize my carbon footprint. I compost, I thrift. Um, I I feel like I'm romantic, but I don't have anybody to be romantic with. Um, what else? I love to sew. I'm a sewist.
Hmm.
I
That's a
like to,
term. A sewist.
yes,
That's a term.
yes, yes, yes.
I always thought seamstress,
No,
dressmaker, tailor.
seamstress is more professional, but I feel like a sewist is somebody who has a sewing machine and does stuff on the sewing
Okay.
machine. I
Okay.
wouldn't elevate myself to seamstress,
Okay.
but
Sewist.
I'm a sewist, and I like art, and I like creativity, and I like creative people, and I do like drama. Not like that messy drama, but I do like acting, and I'm a critique of the arts.
Hmm.
So that's who I am.
Okay. All right. So, where are you from?
I am from Discovery Bay, Jamaica. I was born in Kingston, Jamaica, and my earliest childhood memories are um, of being at our house in Jamaica, being bitten by mosquitoes, and running around barefoot, and going to the beach, and eating hardo bread, and drinking Milo, and just kind of living this carefree, ideal life. Um,
so, So let me ask you something. When you say eating hardo bread, how did you eat hard? Why don't you explain that for our audience and then tell us how you eat hardo bread?
Okay, hardo bread. It's actually hard dough bread. It's very dense, and in
Mm-hmm.
Jamaica, we used to get it by the loaf, and it would be in the plastic sheath. And then sometimes when we'd go to the bakery, mommy and dad, we're a bread-loving family. Mommy and daddy would throw the loaves in the back, and we'd tear off the ends and dig our little hands in. So when we arrived home, it would just be the crust. Hardo bread is a type of bread, very dense bread, which I have made at home, and it turned out well. Um, and I like to eat hardo bread torn off, just
Mm-hmm.
rip it
Mm-hmm.
off when it's
Mm-hmm.
soft.
Mm-hmm.
And then I love it with guava jelly.
Mm-hmm.
I love it with butter. And I love it with my favorite drink in the world, which is Milo.
So what?
Milo
Yeah, explain Milo.
Milo is, Americans would liken it to Nestle's Quick.
Mm-hmm.
But Milo is, I think it's a Nestle product. But growing up in Jamaica, I thought Milo was exclusive, was made in Jamaica. I think they harvested the chocolate for it in Jamaica. But I've seen it all over the world,
Yes.
particularly in Asian countries. And I've seen it in Singapore. People traveling the world because I love it so much, they'll take a picture and send it to me. But
Mm-hmm.
Milo is it's like this powder, and it used to be chunkier, but now it's
Yes.
smoother. Used to be really chunky, like
Yes.
tiny pieces of broken up lava, but chocolate.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a
Mm-hmm.
malted. Oh God, I'm salivating just thinking about it.
I'm thinking there's some in my pantry right now. I need to get it.
Anyway, it's chocolate and malt, and you can either mix it with water and condensed milk or mix it with milk and sugar. The thing about Milo is it has to be sweet. It
Yeah.
is a sweet treat. You can't just mix it with milk and leave it there. You
Mm-hmm.
have to add some sugar. And then when we were small, the little crystals, the little pieces, you
Yes.
take a spoon and you crush it
Yes.
on the side to burst open the flavor. And
Yep.
then if you do it right, you have little chunks on
On
top.
top.
That's
Mm-hmm.
like when you get to the bottom, it's like a dessert.
Yeah. Then you
Sometimes
get your spoon and you eat the
it
crumble.
won't
Oh.
pour out. You need a spoon. And it's just, I liken it to when we used to go to New York and eat the Italian ices.
Oh yes.
And if you
Mm-hmm.
eat Italian ices in a cup, when you get to the bottom, you flip it over and all the syrup and goodness was on the bottom. And that was
Yep.
like a treat.
Yep.
Milo is like that. That if you do it right, there's a treat at the end. So they
Yes.
stopped making it as chunky,
Which was a bummer.
which was
I
a
have to
bummer.
say.
It's still good. And my kids, they don't love it like I do. But if I'm making Milo, and you can drink it warm or hot,
Yes. Mm-hmm.
warm or cold, and my kids like it, and it's my ultimate comfort food. And
Yes.
I think it evokes the memories of, like, in Jamaica, I'd come home from school, we'd eat dinner early, then I would take a nap, and then mommy would wake me up, and then she always had hardo bread and Milo. And that memory just reminds me of love and
Yeah.
nurturing and comfort. And so when I'm sad or stressed out, I will drink Milo. Now, the thing is, you can always tell how sad or emotional I am based on the rate I'm drinking the Milo.
This is true.
If I go through a can in 2, 3 weeks, because I get the big 3 pound can, I'm in trouble. I'm emotional. um, but if I have a can for several months, I'm good.
Yeah.
And one of the sweetest things that one of my kids ever did was, after their father left and I'm in bed and I'm like so sad and crying, poor Haley, she made
Mm.
me some Milo to make me feel better. and I was too sad to even drink it.
Oh, okay. That's yeah.
That was like, it was one of the sweetest
That's
things.
rock bottom.
Yeah, no, it was one of the sweetest things because she knows me and knows it will make me feel better. But I couldn't. Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. I told her that the other day that was, like when your kids do things that are just so sweet and kind and it sticks with you. That
Yeah.
stuck with me. And the saddest thing was, and I didn't tell her I couldn't drink it, I just put it kind of on the nightstand or whatever. But yeah, that's my favorite thing in the world is Milo. And then
So,
wait, Boogie lives
oh,
with a guy who is, where's Albert from? He's Malaysian. And he knows it and he calls it Milo.
Milo.
Hmm.
We saw Milo when we were in Sweden.
Uh-huh. Hmm. It's
We
all
saw
over.
Milo when we're in Cuba. It's
Uh-huh.
it's all over the place. And I remember way back when, like, if somebody sent us a package from Jamaica, or if mommy or daddy or someone went to Jamaica, they would bring, like you said, that 3 pound green tin
Of Milo.
of
Hmm.
Milo.
Yeah.
We and that was back in the day with the crumbly lava chunks on
Oh
top.
God, it was so good. Yeah.
It was so good. Remember when I'm totally going off tangent, when we would just do the Milo with the condensed milk, no extra milk, and just eat it like that?
Oh yeah. And then guess what? Guess what I introduced to my kids? If you have ice cream and you want some chocolate, you sprinkle some Milo on
Yes.
top of it.
Yes.
That's and
Yeah.
I mean, I'll be doing that for my grandkids.
Absolutely.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay. So you started to talk a little bit about the kids.
Hmm.
So you mentioned that you're a mother. Who are you a mother to?
I'm mother to Haley, and she is 28, going to be 29 this December, and
Mm-hmm.
Zachary, who's 27, and then Alana, which sounds strange to say
Yeah,
because
that's
I
weird.
I
I'm like,
never
who is
ever
that?
call her that. Like it's so foreign, because nobody calls her that. But that's Yaya. Yaya is my child who, my baby who spent the most time with me. And I think she is super in tune with me because we had a really long time of one-on-one. And,
Right.
she knows something's up when my eyelids flutter, when, like you kids will observe you like you're under a microscope.
Yeah, they
Like
know
mom,
you.
my kids know me. So yeah, those are my pride and joy. And I have said it. I said it 29 years ago when I had Haley. I said, I don't know what I will accomplish for the rest of my life, but I can tell you right now, being a mother is the single most rewarding aspect of my life. And I've been doing it for 29 years, and that opinion hasn't changed.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I live for my kids.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can't even imagine not having them.
No.
Yeah.
I was having a conversation with mommy about that just yesterday.
Hmm.
Okay, but I digress. All right. So, what are your hobbies? What do you like to do?
Well, I like to thrift. I like to go to thrift stores and get cool stuff for my house. And I like to go to estate sales and buy dead people's old stuff and bring into
Oh,
my
God.
house. I mean, most of the time you have these estate sales that people have died.
I know, I know, I know.
I
And it
know.
can be sad going through those zones.
Right,
But
right. Because you see the decline. You see the
yeah.
old pictures, you see all of this stuff, and then you see the adult diapers and the walkers
Oh,
and the wheelchairs and all of the stuff to indicate that they had been sick. Um, but yeah, I love that. I love thrifting. I'm drinking right now from a stemless wine glass. I'm not a drinker, but
mm-hmm.
these are so incredibly classy to drink from,
Oh, yeah.
and they're absolutely lovely. And I got this for $1 at a thrift store.
All
And I
right.
have several of these, and it
Mm-hmm.
just really kind of elevates how you live. And then you can get crystal and stuff like that. So I thrifting, going to estate sales, traveling. I like to have something on the books. It gives me something to look forward to.
Mm-hmm.
I love to sew. Oh my gosh, I love to sew. But when I sew, I become obsessive, where it's the only thing I can do. And right now, I'm working on a non-sewing project, and the sewing machine is calling me. But I know if I start sewing, I won't finish up this project.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So sewing, estate sales, um, going to theater. Yeah, that's it. Kind of. My house is in a perpetual state of having a project being done.
Right.
So I like to fix up my house and do stuff and, do funky things with my house and make it a lovely place.
Yeah. Okay. Um, we already talked about your favorite food.
Hmm.
Um, so what's your favorite season of the year?
I love summer. Summer means beach. Summer is sunshine. Summer is outdoors. Summer is like it gets dark at 8:30, 9 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
Summer is just my favorite time of year. Spring isn't bad because I anticipate summer.
Right.
Fall and winter,
Yeah.
not so much. I don't like the bulkiness. I don't like, yeah, but summer is just, it's such a great time. It's like family activities. Remember when we were young, we would like, daddy and mommy would take us to Disneyland, and then we would go to the theater. There was that
Mm-hmm.
outdoor theater. It wasn't the Greek theater, but it used to be
Oh,
outdoors.
yeah, I know what you're talking about.
But I don't know if they closed it down or they
I
put
don't.
it
Mm-hmm.
inside now. But yeah, summer. I just love summer.
Okay.
And
All
then
right.
like vacation Bible school for the kids.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, love it.
So, what else would you like to tell our audience about so they can get to know you a little bit better?
I didn't mention this before, but I'm a child abuse doctor, and
Mm-hmm.
I was a regular pediatrician, general pediatrician for 9 years before I decided to do this fellowship in child abuse medicine. And it's the best decision I ever made because I was not fulfilled as a pediatrician. And I feel like I'm doing good work in taking care of these kids with
Right.
allegations of abuse. And not many people have the stomach for it, but
Mm-hmm.
I do. And I just really get a great deal of satisfaction from doing this work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you for the reintroduction. I
Mhm.
loved it.
Yes.
I mean, I know these things about you, but I love hearing you talk about them. And I love the fact that you get to share with our audience.
Um,
Wait a second.
what?
Wait a second. Raina. Let's not forget Raina, please.
Raina,
Tell us about Raina.
I mentioned Raina earlier because Chasey Poo takes care of her sometimes.
Yeah.
Raina, I've had four dogs as an adult. My first dog I got was in, it was it 2006? No, 2008. I got Marley, who was a
Mm-hmm.
purebred Rhodesian Ridgeback. Then after Marley, we moved to Texas, and then I had to work nights, and I got another dog because I had hired babysitters and it never worked out, so I wanted to be the badass in the neighborhood with the two big dogs. So
Mm-hmm.
I got a Safa, and a
Mm-hmm.
Safa was a Doberman. We grew up with mostly Dobermans in Jamaica, so I got a Safa. Then sadly, Asafa died from cancer. And then it took me a couple years, and then I got Charlie, who was the biggest Doberman I've ever
Yeah.
seen. Like
Yeah.
the chest, you could put a saddle on him and ride him. He was so ridiculously big. And you know, Marley was used to surf the counter like if I had food, so you don't put it on the counter, no biggie. Charlie, if I'm fine chicken in the sink. He would on the counter in the sink. He would
Yeah.
be in the trash can. He was
Yeah.
the biggest. And when I decided to foster him, I was like, what have I done? My God. But, the thing is, Charlie's owner gave him away. So I fostered him for like 2 days. I'm like, we have to keep him. I mean, this dog, I can't just give him
Mm-hmm.
away. And
Mm-hmm.
Charlie thought he was a lap dog. That's the thing.
Yes. Yes.
He would like try and climb up in your lap on the couch. And
Yeah.
he was massive.
Yeah.
He was
Mm-hmm.
massive. And then so sadly in 2019, Charlie and Marley died. And then it
Yeah.
took me a few years, and then now I have Raina, and Raina is a small Staffordshire Terrier, and I got a small dog because when Marley and Charlie became ill, I just couldn't pick them up. So I said, let me
Right.
get a small dog. They can just hop in, whatever. And yes, Raina is the smallest dog I've ever had at 45 pounds. But
Yeah, but
guess
she's a
what?
little chunk.
She's just like a little just muscle. And
Just muscle. Mm-hmm.
and Reina was adopted. She's Mexican, and she was from Tijuana, Mexico. I got her through an organization that they rescue bully breeds, pit bulls.
Mm-hmm.
And the day I got her, she was straight from Mexico. She was straight from Mexico. Like she'd been picked up off the street, and then she had been given some type of vet care. And she had, Erlichia. She was on so many different medications.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Raina is, I love her because she's too small to get on the counter, too small. She has never stolen food from me because she can't. She's too short. Um,
Yeah.
but she never met a stranger. She's like if I have workers at the house, she's like, what are they doing? Raina follows me to the toilet. Raina, I mean, she's like this little constant companion. Like she'll
Mm-hmm.
be
With the
dead asleep.
sweetest face.
Uh-huh. She'll
Sweetest
be
face.
dead asleep. And then I get up off the couch to do something, and then she hears me. It's like the craziest thing.
Mm-hmm.
And she follows me around, and so Raina is my latest dog, and she's just a love bug. Everybody loves her. And yeah, she's just a great, her name is Raina Dora.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, she's my little staffy.
Hey, did you ever coming right from Mexico, did you speak to her in Spanish?
I did. I
You
did.
did.
And I
My
feel like
sister's bilingual.
yeah, I feel like she understood, but then Rena she was like a puppy mill. She was kept in a
Yeah.
cage. She had
Yeah.
a little callus on her back from
Oh,
likely the cage
stop.
that she was kept in.
Stop. Yeah.
And her story is that when they couldn't breed her anymore,
Yeah.
they
They
just threw
just
her in the
dumped her.
street. And I think she recognized that to get fed, she had to be friendly and sweet. So that's why
Right.
she's like, here I am. Um,
Mm.
but yeah, anyway, that callus is gone. It took a while to go, and Raina needed surgery and a bunch of stuff. But she's doing great.
Yeah,
She's
she
doing
is.
great. Yeah, she's
She
just a
is.
sweetie pie. Yeah. Even mommy
Okay.
said, can't even know, me just love Raina, you see. Me just love her. And then we have a
Yes.
cousin, Randy, who he's like, man, I didn't grow up with dogs, but I don't know. Something about this dog. I just like her. Yeah. And so, yeah, Randy asked after Raina.
Oh, that's too sweet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she makes an impression for sure.
Yes, yes,
Rounds
she
out
does.
your family perfectly.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. All right. So that is you in a nutshell.
And then this is Judy. There's nothing else to know. No other questions.
No other questions. All right,
Okay,
I'm done.
so I won't repeat the same questions, but I will
Okay.
ask different things. What
Okay.
is your best childhood memory?
Oh, gee. Okay, so I don't know. I left Jamaica when I was 5. So
Hmm.
some of my recollections, I don't know if they're truly mine
Or
or I've heard the stories so many times that it becomes mine because I was always a part of the stories.
yeah,
But I want to remember, I want to share how we had a swing set
we did.
and we would like swing the two at a time. There were
Hmm.
4 kids. So, the boys and then the girls over their laps, and we would swing on the swing set. And I want to believe that is truly my memory. And I can't give you a whole lot of detail around it, but that speaks to me in for so many different reasons. Like the carefree
Yeah,
uh, feeling of childhood, the connection with my siblings, that the 4 of us were doing it together. And no doubt with Rupi and Steve, it was a competition who could swing further and
yeah,
higher and faster and all of that. And we were just across their laps and just laughing and giggling and holding on for dear life. Um, and so that's honestly the first thing that popped into my mind when you asked that question was that swing set at Jetview.
yeah. So what they used to do is we used to sit, and they would stand,
Oh, they
like
stood.
straddle, and then we would go back
Oh,
and
yes.
forth. Yes,
Yes.
that's how it was. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
Do you
my
remember going to
childhood
the
is.
beach at all?
I remember swimming. I remember Mummy swimming and me holding onto her legs.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember doing this at Puerto Seco.
Uh-huh.
And she would swim, parallel to the shore, and I would hold on. But yes, yeah, we would. I remember. I remember beach. Um, I remember food.
Mm-hmm.
I remember our house lizard.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because I was only 5, but when you ask about childhood memory, it goes to Jamaica. It doesn't go to California.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
I mean,
believe me,
that's
I have a lot of California
yeah.
childhood memories, but it's like it's Jamaica.
Now, what's your favorite California childhood memory?
What comes to mind? Ride, ride, rough,
Oh
rough.
God. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. That's crazy.
So Candy and I would ride our bicycles around the neighborhood, and we'd go through the alleys. The alleys, some neighborhoods have alleys, others don't. But if you don't know, like you'd put your trash can in the alley, it would like back up to your home.
Right.
And so we'd ride on the sidewalk, but we'd ride through different alleys. This path that we used to take, and there was I can't remember the street, but I can see the house now. We're riding down the alley, just like minding our business casually, and there was a bad dog,
Mm-hmm.
or seemingly bad dog, just noisy, barked a lot. So the first time we're riding there, we were surprised and scared because now the bark was so intense. It was like it was coming after us.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we called that ride, ride, rough, rough. And
Yeah.
then we took our brother Steve, and Steve thought we were like exaggerating and being dramatic. And then on the ride, he realized how incredibly scary that dog
Yeah.
sounded.
Yeah. But then the thing is, after the first time when we were terrified and we realized we were safe, we would ride through the alley just to
Yes,
get that response from the
that's
dog. Yeah.
right.
It was
The
like a thrill
adrenaline.
thing. Yeah.
It was. It was
Hmm.
thrill seeking.
Ride, ride. I think I named it Ride, Ride, Rough, Rough.
Oh my gosh, that's a
How
good
old
one.
were we?
If I was maybe 7, maybe
I was 9, 8. Yeah.
7, 8, 9, that sort of thing.
Okay.
Um, I remember when, again, brother Steve and our neighbor Josh, who is still like a dear friend of the entire family. We love Josh Beckman. Um, they were skateboarding,
Oh,
and
yeah.
Steve made it a mission that I would learn how to skateboard. So I got my little skateboard, and the boys would take me skateboarding all the time. And I was pretty good for like being like 10 years old on the skateboard.
Mm.
But we lived kind of in a hilly neighborhood. And so we would go to the top of not our block, but the block above and catamaran. And that's when you have two skateboarders sitting
Hmm.
on their skateboard with their legs stretched over to the other. So they were parallel
Parallel.
to each
Hmm.
other.
Yeah.
And then, like, no helmet, no pad, no nothing.
Yeah.
I then sat on both their legs, holding onto them like this. And we would tear down Maple Drive.
Yeah.
And I swear, I don't know if it's real, but it's in my head. Like there's a giant moving truck in a driveway, and we just laid down and went under the truck. I do not know if I made that part up,
That's like
but
from Too Fast and Too Furious. Hmm.
right. But I absolutely remember catamaraning with Josh and Steve down Maple Drive. That's
Yeah,
good.
that's a good memory. Notice I'm not involved because I was never athletic. I was too scared. So what is like your biggest accomplishment? Let's talk about personal and let's talk about professional. What are you most proud of professionally?
Professionally, um, when I left that corporate world and that kind of it put money in my pocket, but it wasn't a fulfilling job. And I made the switch. I went back to school, became a marriage and family therapist. Being able to support children and families work through their trauma and be that kind of guidepost for them on their journey. Like, I love that. I am
Hmm.
so fulfilled by that. Um, and I love being able to be a witness to someone else's story and to help them along that journey. But then that parlayed into this position that I currently have where I'm the director of equity and inclusion. So now I'm able to really talk about what inclusivity means, advocate for others, marginalized populations, and do it from a therapeutic perspective. So I feel like I have the greatest job, but it's a hard job, and I'm often in tears at the injustices that go on um, in our communities, in this country, in this world. But at the same time, I love what I get to do. And so I'm most proud of the fact that when I leave this earth, I will know that I have made a difference. I will know that. Um, for a client, for a community, for a population at large, I know that I will have made a difference in people's lives for the better.
That's the same way I feel about my job.
Yes.
That's so funny that we have these parallels,
Mm-hmm.
where it's like I love this job because I know I'm helping folks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Candy, mommy and daddy taught us this, and I've been saying it for years to be of service to others.
Hmm. Yeah.
We saw it every day in our lives because of what our parents did and how they showed up in the world,
Yeah, but
what
I
they
don't
did for
think it was
others.
like a thing where they sat us down.
No, no,
It was something we saw them doing it and it just became the norm.
yeah,
We saw daddy and mummy. And one thing about mummy and daddy is they were in tune when it came to their generosity to people. I think it was because they grew up poor in Jamaica and they got it. They recognized that they had opportunities
right,
that other people didn't have. And, it came from sacrificing on their
yeah,
family's behalf to give them an education, you know.
yeah, for
Mama
sure.
said she
And
she could have she could have been pregnant with multiple kids up country if her parents didn't, or not her parents, but her family didn't educate her.
right. And I think mommy and daddy, they knew where they were from.
Right.
Very humble beginnings. They recognized their privilege, of education and lifestyle and everything, and then used that privilege to support other people.
Yeah. 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 Very generous people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what
So, and I
about?
think,
Go
okay,
ahead.
go ahead. And I think, I like we just picked up on it. Like you said, it wasn't a conversation at a dinner table. It's like, this is what our parents did, and this is
Yes.
how you and I ended up in the fields that we're in.
Yes.
You knew from the jump that you wanted to be a doctor. It
Yeah.
took me a minute, but once I found it, I'm like, this is it. This is the best thing.
Yeah. Yeah. I do feel like I have a great job. I was talking to my chief medical officer. We check in on a monthly basis, and she's like, "So how's it going?" So I'm fabulous. I think I might be the happiest employee at this hospital. I love my job. I love my life. She's like, "Really?" I said,
Mm-hmm.
"Yes." And I'm
Yeah.
sure when she checks in with other department heads, they have a long list of complaints. I don't have
Right.
that.
Right.
I do not have that.
Yeah.
So what about
Something else.
personally? Oh, go ahead.
Something else that I want to share that I'm really, really proud of is the fact that I get to teach for college students. I'm a
Mhm.
professor at a local university, and I teach a class a semester. And I really enjoy, again, being part of their academic journey. And I know that I put myself out there in ways that other professors do not. But I couldn't do it any other way. Like, I make myself available to my students, and I just love teaching and seeing that light bulb go off, and be able to make it real for them. I love doing that. I hate grading. I
Yeah.
I mean, when I
Yeah.
have papers to grade, it's like, I got papers to grade, and it's going to take me all freaking weekend,
Yeah.
but I love the teaching, and I'm
Yeah.
I'm very proud of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, so what about personally? What are you most proud
Personally,
of?
my greatest accomplishment are my children.
Mm-hmm.
I think that is they're such a gift. I have three. Maxine, who is going to be 27. Is that
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
Good Lord.
Two
Maya,
years
who just
behind
turned
Haley.
21, and Grayson, who is 19.
Mm-hmm.
They are my greatest accomplishment. Um, they went through and are still going through challenges with their father. And that's like a whole other story. But he isn't really there for them. Um, but and I know how hard that is, and maybe I try to overcompensate for his absence, or maybe it's just me, but I am very present in their lives. And my children talk to me about whatever is going on in their lives. Honestly, there are times where I don't want to hear it. I wish I didn't know, but I've created an environment where I know they feel safe to come to me with anything, without fear of judgment or blame or "I told you so's." Um, and I'm really grateful for that. I was with Maya last weekend, and she was saying, she was commenting on how, you know I'm her go to person. She comes to me,
Mm-hmm.
um, and I am really grateful that I created that environment for them, because as much as I love and adore my mother, we couldn't really talk to her about certain things. There were just things that we knew, like, mommy doesn't
Yeah.
want to hear this.
Yeah, it was a different generation,
Exactly.
I think
Exactly.
if Mummy had been born when we were born, she would, I mean, it sounds silly. She'd be more like us. And it was just like,
Right.
you know, I'm your
It's
parents.
right. And yes, generational, also
Mhm.
the country, Jamaica,
Oh, yeah.
upbringing, all of that. And so there are things that I did not feel comfortable sharing with my mother.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't think there's anything my children don't feel comfortable sharing with me. Uh, years ago, um, I was having, I had talked to, God, he'd die, talk to my children about sex, right? And, I told them, like, from a
Don't
young
say anything
age,
embarrassing. Don't say anything embarrassing.
no, age
Okay.
appropriate,
Uh-huh.
about sex and what have you when the time comes. And then I said to Gray, like, years later, I'm like, do you mind that I talked to you about this? And he's like, you've been talking to us about this for years. I'm not uncomfortable with this subject at all.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, okay, I've done my job.
Mm-hmm.
I've done my job. So yeah, my kids are my greatest personal accomplishment.
So, what are you looking forward to? Like, what's a big thing that you're like, I can't wait to do XYZ?
I can't wait to be a grandparent.
Really?
I cannot wait to be a grandparent. I cannot wait to be able to share that love with my children's children.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be all over them. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that phase of my life. It's not coming today or tomorrow, but when it comes, I will be shouting from the rooftops. I'm so excited just to love up on that next generation.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, I mean, you and I talk about this plenty.
Yeah. Me too.
Yeah.
Me too. Yeah.
And I've been with other people's babies and I totally enjoy it. But when that little grandbaby is mine and I get to smell them, oh yeah. So that's my next big thing in life, the next
Mm-hmm.
phase of my life that I'm really looking forward to.
All right. What about regret?
Regret. You would think that my biggest regret would be the children's father. But I can't even say that because, as horrific as that situation was, I wouldn't have my children without him.
Mm-hmm.
So, as much as I regret the pain and the trauma that I went through and that the children had to endure as well, I regret that piece of it, the
Mm-hmm.
hurt that I felt and I carried for so long. But I really can't even regret him
All right. So,
because, yeah.
aside from that POS, what do
Okay.
you regret?
I regret not having, I have good friends, but we grew up in a predominantly white neighborhood. Um, and that's all we were accustomed to. And there were times where I really tried to venture out, like when I went to college or graduate school, to become more involved in the Black communities. And for whatever reason, didn't work out the way I had hoped. I regret not having that circle of Black women in my life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, I have my family, which is fantastic. Um, but those women who get it,
Yeah.
might be
Yeah.
different familial background, upbringing, what have you, but understand the challenges that Black women face. I
Mm-hmm.
regret that. I was
Okay.
talking to Maya about that a couple weeks ago.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is something hard that you didn't think you could do and you ended up doing it?
You're going to tell me that I'm ridiculous. School was hard. Going back to school was hard. I didn't think I could do it. I was just like, it's hard.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I was able to do it. I had to sacrifice quite a bit because there were things that my kids were doing that I couldn't be a part of. I went to school, every Saturday for 2 years, every Wednesday night, and I was there all day. Um, and so I missed things. So I felt like I missed out on quite a bit during those years. Um, but I did it, and I know that I did it for the right reasons. Yeah. So I knew I could do it, but it was definitely challenging
Yeah,
because I was
that
also
and
working full
I
time.
know that's what I was going to say. You were working. I just can't even imagine that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Candy, remember when that job that at that job that I had and they said that they didn't give me permission to go to school? Yes. Like,
oh
ooh,
my
didn't know I
God.
needed to ask permission. Yeah.
God, that's
So,
just so ridiculous stuff that you put
mhm.
up with. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, what is like just something that you recall that is hysterically funny?
Okay. So, as a
I'm
child,
thinking of something. Okay. All right. Go ahead.
as a child, my mother would get her hair done at Pretty Girl.
Mm-hmm.
And Candy and I would go and we'd go to Pretty Girl and get our hair done there. And there was one of the stylists, like middle aged black woman, what have you. And God, I remember this clearly. And the joke was that she was going to be like in the Christmas play at her church.
Mm-hmm.
And I said,
To
who is
mommy.
she? I said to mommy, like, who's she playing? The Virgin Mary? And we screamed, howled with laughter. That joke still brings laughter.
Oh yeah, mommy.
Um,
Mommy will chuckle about it. Yeah.
because it was to know this woman, it was so absurd
Right.
that
Yeah.
she would be playing this role.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
But and it was one of those things that just slipped out,
Uh-huh.
and it's been a joke now for decades.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was hysterical.
Yeah.
What were you thinking?
I was it wasn't like the most hysterical thing, but it was like we shared it together when we went to Hawaii
Oh,
and then
yes.
we parked because there was something off the side of the road that we wanted to see. And then we saw it and then we got in the car and then like I'm driving and I think I reversed and the car didn't move. And then Judy and I, we just like it was a sitcom. We both looked at each other like, oh God. And we were stuck. And then we started laughing. We started laughing. And then I said a prayer. And then I think I reversed the car. And we made it over whatever that hump was.
It was like this knowing look, like, holy shit, are we
Yeah, like,
stuck
are
here?
we gonna be stuck here? Are we gonna fall off in this rented car in Hawaii?
Right.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
was funny. That was
Do
funny.
they take AAA?
Uh-huh. Yeah, that was funny.
Oh, that was good. That was
Yeah.
good. Hmm.
And you know what? On that trip in Hawaii, I think was when we kind of started to talk about the podcast.
Yeah.
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 That was what, like
Yeah.
three,
I
four
mean,
years ago? Mm-hmm.
you and I have had so many moments
Yeah.
as sisters. Like, my God, my life would not be what it is without you.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, people tell us all the time, like, you and your sister are really close. Like, you get along so well. I'm like, that's kind of our norm,
Yeah.
right? We
Yeah.
actually enjoy each other
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
we can scream with laughter and we can cry and we can do all of that.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so that's how we ended up here at
Yeah.
Tusoka.
Yeah, which is a
Hmm.
great segue point to wrap up, don't you think? Unless you
Yeah,
have something else
yeah,
to say.
absolutely. No, I'm just happy for the opportunity to be a part of this community and to reach other people and
And
to let
think,
them in
yeah,
a little bit into our world.
yeah, thank you for the feedback. We occasionally get feedback. Somebody said you're doing God's work, and a friend of mine from college when I saw her, she was like, "Oh, it's like you said on the podcast, like you said on," and I'm like, "You really listen that much?" And she's like, "Yeah,
Right.
yeah." So,
Yeah.
we're having a good time, and hopefully, we're reaching out to other people and encouraging you to do things out of your comfort zone or gain some insight. And this
Yeah.
isn't the end of your life. It's just the third act. Yeah.
It really is. And it gets better because I know we both feel like we are in our prime.
Yeah, yeah, we
We are
do.
in our prime. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us on this episode of Two Sisters of a Certain Age. It is always a pleasure to be with you, and we will see you the next time. But before we go, Candy, how can folks reach out should they be interested in connecting with us?
Gmail, twosilkapodcast@gmail.com. We are on Instagram, Two Sisters of a Certain Age, and you can watch us on YouTube and then on all major podcast platforms.
Okay. All right, everybody. Until next time.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
No longer network.